Hey guys, Spirit of the Lie here. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the elite unique unit upgrades, and which ones are especially good. Now, it would be easy to come up with a subjective list off the top of my head, though you guys know me. I at least want to start from a place that's somewhat mathy. To that end, I'm using a bit of a ranking system behind the scenes based on their stats and cost to inform this. That includes how many of the units you're being set back by researching the elite upgrade, as well as a proprietary formula that tries to capture how much each non-elite unit is improved, taking into account attack, HP, armor, and range, turning that into a score. There's then a bit of subjective interpretation when it comes to extra bonus damage, creation speed, and other miscellaneous factors, as well as the price of the tech. So I'll be trying to combine all of it and give you my list of must-grab elite upgrades. And let's jump in. Starting off with our number 10, we have the Elite Mamuk. Now this one might seem odd at first, as the Elite upgrade only gives 13 HP, plus 2 attack, and 1 more melee armor on its face. Behind the scenes though, it also gives a little extra bonus against cavalry from 9 to 12, and cuts their attack delay in half for easier micro, but these numbers together hardly feel like top 10. From a net improvement to the unit, my formula actually puts it right around average, but what elevates it here is the value aspect, where the upgrade itself is a pretty reasonable 600 food and 500 gold for what's otherwise a very expensive unit, costing 140 resources each. I am giving gold an extra 50% weighting in all of this, which implies you're only being set back 7 or 8 units worth of value by getting the elite upgrade, which is half the median number for all the elite upgrades as a group, and makes it easy to justify with an unusually small number of units. If you're making even say 20 Mamelukes, it's already worth picking up. Next up at number 9 is a similar outlier in terms of giving very high value, this time the Elite War Elephant. In this case, the elite upgrade is more expensive at 1350 food and 800 gold, making it actually the most expensive elite upgrade period, giving them about a third more HP in addition to 5 more attack and 1 more pierce armor. What again makes this such a valuable upgrade is how expensive individual war elephants are, with this again setting you back only 8 or 9 units. A third more HP is nothing to sneeze at, which on top of 1 more pierce armor makes them instantly over a third more effective at tanking arrows. While then a third more to your main attack plus splash damage is another large benefit. Considering elephants are the most expensive castle unique unit individually, you really don't have to help too many for the elite upgrade to more than pay off, assuming you're already making them. The whole list, by the way, isn't just expensive melee units, and both of these first two are just notable outliers for how easily they pay off. Moving on to number 8, we have the Elite Tonic Knight. They may not be the first to come to mind here, but are helped a ton, or more accurately 2 tons, by the Elite upgrade, giving 25% more HP, 3 more attack, and a dazzling 3 more melee armor. Their potential 7+3 melee armor in Imperial Age when non-elite is already enough to negate the attack of units like halberdiers, but a champion with 17 attack or a paladin with 18 are still able to get close to half their damage through, where the elite upgrades 3 more armor just closes that door, so they need a lot more attacks to defeat each unit. When you think of the role of the Teutonic Knight as a melee damage tank, the elite upgrade is completely central to that in Imperial Age at a very reasonable price, only setting you back about 13 units worth of value, while in some cases more than doubling the effectiveness of each individual unit in situations they're intended for. In fact, according to my scoring system, they should be higher on this list, but I knocked them down a bit as the elite upgrade doesn't do that much to address their obvious issues against ranged units and defensive buildings. Next up at number 7 is the Elite Janary. At 1600 resources, this increases their HP by 14%, gives them 5 more attack, removes their attack delay, increases their accuracy by 15%, adds 1 more melee armor, and 1 more range. That last one is actually the most important aspect to me, as there are a lot of units around 7 or 8 range, or even 9 in the case of onagers with siege engineers, and you really need that +1 range yourself to keep up in Imperial. Though even beyond that point, you can see it helps in a variety of different ways. That said, it is more expensive than the others we've seen relative to the cost of an individual Janary, setting you back almost exactly 14 units. Considering its price, the elite upgrade should then clearly come along with some free Janary hats, and if that was the case, then this would easily be top 5 for the intangible benefits. Moving on to number 6, we have the Elite Rattan Archer. This one's actually pretty expensive, especially given the cost of the individual units, but helps in a few nice ways. It adds 5 more HP to an already very squishy unit, +1 attack, then +2 pierce armor, further solidifying them as an anti-archer archer, along with again +1 range. Honestly, the War Wagon, Gibetto, Longbow, Throwing Axeman, Chakram Thrower, and Plumed Archer should probably get an honorable mention on the list, solely for the fact that those are the others that get +1 range, and I put a lot of extra weight on range increases in my formula for that reason. The elite Rattan archer rises above those others for me though, and even the elite Janary, as I also highly value armor, especially pierce armor. Against low attack units like archers, just 1 or 2 armor can have a dramatic effect on the damage taken, and in this case, as an example, a non-elite but otherwise fully upgraded Rattan archer takes 2 damage from an arbalaster and 3 from a heavy cavalry archer, but just 1 damage from each after the elite upgrade comes in, if you have your archer armor techs. In the same way the Tonic Knight needed the elite upgrade to fully reach its anti-melee potential, the Rattan archer, and Huskarl for that matter, need that final push of armor in Imperial to completely shut down enemy archers as intended. Next up, at number 5, we have another Pierce Armor Heavy Elite upgrade with the Elite Gulam. Again, the overall cost holds us back, with the equivalent of nearly 20 units worth of value, but gives plus 10 HP, plus 2 attack, plus 3 pierce armor, then adding in a rare speed increase to the unit, as well as then a bit more bonus damage against archers. Essentially, everything here that makes them anti-archer is supercharged by the elite upgrade, making them significantly tankier and harder hitting against those units they're already specialized to deal with. Don't forget, Hindustanis lack the final armor tech for infantry, but with this upgrade, they end up taking triple the number of shots from arbalesters and are much more resistant to defenses. The fact they become so much more dangerous against exactly the units they're intended to be used against, as well as the fact most archers will be having bracer and chemistry coming in to boost their attack in Imperial, means if you're making a lot of Gulams, this is an important elite upgrade to prioritize. Moving on to number 4, we have the Elite Organ Gun. This is another relatively expensive upgrade, but helps in a similar way, giving them more HP, attack, and pierce armor. Where the last 2 on the list focused on durability though, this one is amazing for its offensive boost. The way organ guns work these days is all of their projectiles deal the same damage, in this case going from 5 projectiles to 6, while then all of those projectiles go from 6 to 8 attack. Just that marginal improvement against low armor targets is massive, dealing over double the damage against any unit with 4 pierce armor, such as an arbalester. It's not often you can double a unit's attack against many common units, though on the flip side the effects are much more modest against a high pierce armor target like a paladin, which organ guns aren't as well suited to fight in the first place. It depends on what you're up against, but especially since they redesigned how the organ gun's damage works, this is situationally an incredible elite upgrade, worth getting with even a modest 20 or so organ guns, especially if you're up against a lot of low armor units in particular. Next, at number 3, we have what's probably a surprise with the Elite Tarkin. I imagine this wasn't on your bingo card, but the elite upgrade for these thumpy boys is insane, giving 50 more HP, 3 more attack, 1 more pierce armor, and greater bonus damage against buildings. It costs about the same as 12 units, but adds over 40% more HP alone, on top of the attack and pierce armor, in many cases doubling their effectiveness in practice. They aren't the most common unit, as they lag the Paladin in raw stats, but if you are going for Tarkins and like the slightly cheaper gold aspect and anti-building specialty compared to Paladins, the elite upgrade is cheaper in Imperial than the Knights upgrades, while dramatically improving the unit just as much. Moving on to number 2, we have a similar but arguably even more impactful upgrade with the Elite Boyar. For a similar cost to the Elite Tarkin, this adds 30 HP, 2 attack, and 1 pierce armor, very similar to Tarkin's, but then 4 melee armor, where even the Elite Teutonic Knight only added 3. This is then a relatively expensive unit individually, at 10 more gold each than Tarkin's, so you're only set back by 11 or 12 units despite its high price. Obviously, 4 extra melee armor is critical to maintaining their anti-melee role, but what I also like about this is the substantial HP and pierce armor buff, helping them cut down damage taken from their usual weakness to mass archers. It's just a great all-around improvement for the unit, and seeing the reversal in how they do against paladins from just this one upgrade, to me puts it in discussion as one of the best. Still, it's not quite number 1 though, with that title going without a doubt in my mind to the elite Hite Wagon. The improvement to this unit is actually bonkers, largely a byproduct of having been somewhat recently nerfed hard in Castle Age, while the elite version and its cost was unchanged, meaning the jump in stats in the upgrade gives incredible value. For a pretty average costing elite upgrade, they get 70 more HP, making them 44% more effective right there, with then 3 more attack on their main projectile, and all 5 of their secondary projectiles going from 4 to 6 pierce attack, followed by the unit then gaining 1 melee and 3 pierce armor. There's also an accuracy and anti-building bonus increase thrown in, because why not? Against either low pierce armor units like arbalesters or high pierce armor targets like paladins, it's a significant increase to your damage getting through, on top of having 40% more HP plus armor, raising their pierce armor to the point that just about any archer unit is only doing 1 damage per shot. Whether it's from a value perspective or just as a raw increase to the attack and tankiness of the unit, the Elite Hussite Wagon upgrade stands out as my choice for number 1 and is generally always worth getting. That'll do it for this one though. These are of course just some things to keep in mind when using any of these units in the future, and why I'd advocate for prioritizing these Elite upgrades in particular. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.